Hello everyone, it's Akanem, the podcast host of The Elegance of Souls and the author of the book, The Painted Flawless Manual, The Art of Intimacy. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so that you can get more videos like this one. And thank you for coming. Today I want to talk to you about a lesson I've been learning over the last year. And this video is titled Balance Over Speed. So why am I talking about balance over speed at the beginning of the year when everyone is basically set to run their race? Well, the truth is that over the last year, I have been learning. I've been in a new space of growth, really. For those of you who know me, I'm a finance professional and I'm a single mom as well. And I've recently been introduced into the author space. I just published my book a couple of years ago, so I'm now part of the publishing world. I'm part of author conversations. I'm part of, podcasts as well, because I have a podcast. So this is new space that I'm learning and growing in, building new networks, forming new partnerships, etc. And there's always that pressure to speed up, to catch up with those who are already doing great and mighty things. And sometimes we forget that we do need to take the baby steps first. And so this last year has just been learning that lesson of balance over speed. And so I'm hoping that what I share in this video will also encourage you if you're in that season of perhaps a new space, that season of growing into something new, and understanding that it's not just about speed. In fact, the speed will come, but you need to get balance first. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you first of all about why some people might not really understand what balance is, because that's something I realized on the journey, that balance is very different for every single person. And so what might be balance for one person is not necessarily balance for you. So that's the first thing we all need to appreciate about balance, that it looks different for everyone, and that's okay. So balance for me is the ability to identify the priorities in our lives for every given season and to meet those priorities accordingly. Okay? And there is a really important aspect here in terms of the priorities. Priorities that are identified will come through your knowledge, through revelation of our own condition. Okay, so it's so unique to you, and that is why in the space of balance you need to have discernment to know what the priorities are, discernment to get the knowledge that you require, get the understanding that you need to identify what needs to be done in that given season. Okay, the second thing I'll say about balance is this: balance is also our ability to preserve the vital aspects of our lives so that they are working at optimum level when required. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It is our ability to preserve vital aspects of our lives so that they are working at optimum level when required. It's almost like guarding the vital organs in our body. So when we talk about when people talk about sitting upright or sitting erect, or having a good posture, not slouching and stuff like that, these are all things we practice to preserve vital organs in our bodies. When we slouch, we could affect the way certain organs are lying in our bodies. So it's the same thing with our lives. When we don't preserve vital aspects, they're not working properly sometimes when they need to be. And I'll give you an example. For example, let's talk about cultivating friendships. Okay, we know, and any wise person knows, that there are certain conversations, there are certain confidences that you are given in relationship, in friendship with people. There are certain expectations about things maybe that shouldn't be repeated elsewhere. certain behaviors that are not permissible. And when we are able to guard these things, properly, we preserve those relationships so that when they need to work in required circumstances, those relationships work. But if you're not guarding them as you should, if you're not preserving them as you should, then they will not be able to meet those needs when they arise later on in the future. Maybe there's a requirement for you to be somewhere at a certain time, but because of the way maybe you have treated them in the past, they can't be there for you that way, and vice versa. So this is just an example of how we can preserve particular aspects of our lives on the journey to get balance. All right. Now, the 4 tips I'm going to share with you are very simple and straightforward, surprisingly. Number 1 is daily devotion. So I'm a Christian, and I tend to wake up in the morning, spend time in the Word, spend time refreshing myself, renewing my mind, trying to get a sense of what God is saying to me about the day. And any fears, any worries, I just surrender those things to Him. Some people do meditation. The important thing for me is identifying a time in the day where you take time to renew your mind, because there's all sorts of things that go through our mind. There's all sorts of things that could taint our mindset, and we want to approach our day, we want to approach the challenges in front of us with a healthy mindset. Okay. Number 2 is core values. I align the choices and decisions that I make on a daily basis with my core values. That is another level of stability. In order for you to be consistent as a person, to have some integrity, it's important to align your decisions with your core values, the things that are important to you. Number 4 is community. I believe that community is a really strong aspect of building stability, especially when we understand that community is like our environment. And what does our environment do? Our environment conditions our mind. So you need to be intentional about the community you create around you and the community that you are constantly engaged with, constantly interacting with. I understand that sometimes we may not be able to determine the environment that we want to be around, but we can still determine who we are interacting with on a regular basis. And for me, it's the community that I have intentionally created around me. Number 4 is our ability to serve and give. So I serve, I give in different places to different people, different aspects of life. And for me, that is an opportunity to maintain a posture of humility, because I don't think we can learn or grow on the journey without having that posture of humility. It's such an attractive quality as well, because people understand you're receptive to what it is they have to offer, and you can do so much more with that than someone who is not receptive to information or to learning or to growth. Okay, so with these 4 tips, I know that it is possible for us to then expand our sights, expand our vision. And with that expansion then comes speed that has been organically created, not speed that is imposed on you. Okay, sometimes we can organically create speed, and then there's times it is imposed on you. We want to be people who have organically created speed, okay? Because then we are riding on a structure that is stable, that is sound, that will lead to so much more procreativity and longevity on our journeys. I hope that blesses you on your journey to you.